We're launching.
A little bit. Oh my God. Yeah, a bit of tire spin.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah,
oh,
that's the tires.
That is awesome.
Imagine a tiny truck with a full truck bed that seats 4 or 5 people, and it's the size of a Mini Cooper. Sounds crazy. It's real. It's the Telo Truck, and we're going to check it out today.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Liv.
We're the electric duo, and today we're visiting Telo Trucks. So let's go.
Woo! This video is sponsored by EV Vita, creators of mods and accessories for all EVs and exclusive resellers of best EV mod accessories with direct customer support.
With EV Vita, it doesn't just end when you get their products. They have lots of tutorials. They're very quick to answer questions. We have their products in our Mach-E and our Equinox, and we're really proud to have them as a sponsor. Before we dive in, let me introduce you to Jason, or I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah.
CEO of Telo, right?
That's right. Founder and CEO of Telo Trucks. Started Telo Trucks 3 years ago with Forest North, and very quickly thereafter brought in Yves Behar. So us three are the three founders of Telo.
That's so cool. But we're standing actually in front of this. We got to see it for the first time at Electrify Expo over the weekend.
Yeah.
There was a constant stream of people that are excited about this, and our viewers have been asking us for months, like, are you guys going to visit Telo? And we're like, well, if we get up there, we will try, we'll do our best. But now we're here. So let's talk about like where the idea of this came from and take a tour of this.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we had a great showing at Electrify. I mean, we brought both Vehicle 1, which is the red vehicle, and Vehicle 2, which is you're seeing right now is the green vehicle. And it's sure got a lot of fingerprints on it, so I'm sure you'll see that as we do the walk around. But yeah, we started the company 3 years ago with the mission to build pickup trucks for downtown cities. And we wanted to build an uncompromising vehicle to do truck stuff. I have my 150-pound dog who's now 3-legged himself, and and I take him everywhere. And I go snowboarding, I go mountain biking, but I live in downtown San Francisco, so didn't really have the opportunity to really park my truck anywhere I wanted to go. And so we built this with that kind of concept in mind.
It's actually interesting because I had a F-150 when I used to live here in the Bay Area, and I never wanted to go to the city because you just can't park it. And then they're like, well, parallel parking's a pain, but getting into a parking garage is even worse.
Yeah, I mean, everything is kind of, the cities are just getting more and more dense. And even like they've projected some crazy densities happening in the next 10 years in downtown cities, and just in the US. And I feel like with the way that our automotive industry has gone bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, has just made it very difficult to actually feel comfortable. It's stressful to drive a truck, drive any SUV at this point in the downtown city.
Well, and I think one of the things that's neat that you guys are doing here is like taking advantage of the fact that it's an EV. It seems like a lot of the manufacturers out there, the traditional manufacturers, are sort of like, taking what we have now and just making it electric. But this is sort of like, well, we have all this flexibility now because it is electric. Let's change it up.
Yeah, I mean, the way we like to think about it is almost like we're a mini truck company first. It turns out the only way to actually build a mini truck is if it's also electric.
Right.
So there's a lot of people that have a connotation that, like, we have early adopters that love electric. A lot of your probably viewers, they love electric vehicles, right? They're definitely in the early adopter category, but there's still a ton of laggards that run behind. And they think that there's all this connotation around, what do they call it, range anxiety. There's this new motion they have to learn with charging. There's this perception that EVs are more expensive, and some of them very much are. But we wanted to provide was an option that literally has such a big advantage because of the things it unlocks for you as an individual, that maybe some of those things you're nervous about, you're willing to take a chance on because of that opportunity of what it unlocks.
Yeah, and going back to that, like, I think this is something like a lot of people that wouldn't necessarily want a truck, they might be interested in this because it has the advantages of a truck that we'd all could appreciate, but it's not giant. It's very maneuverable. You have good cabin space, so it's sort of like you're taking advantages of being electric and starting from scratch versus let's just adapt last generation.
Exactly. And it's funny because a lot of our early customers come up to us like, I would have never bought a truck, but this is the thing I want. Well, why wouldn't you? I was like, well, I drive a Subaru Crosstrek and I throw plywood in the back and hang it out the back. So you use it as a truck. And so you really would love a truck. You just haven't really had the option of having that as your vehicle.
Right, yeah. Now let's talk about this one. I
Yeah.
mean, first of all, I love the color.
This is our most popular color.
Yeah, and these are prototypes. So
They are.
you guys are building them as prototypes, not just to sort of like, this is what could happen in the future. You're learning as you're building it and going like, this works and this doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, these are, aside from a few key features that the windows don't go down and the windshield wipers don't work, these are fully functional vehicles. They're registered for the road. So we really wanted to, as soon as possible, kind of use a little bit of the Silicon Valley-ness and say, get these products in people's hands, test them, get feedback, and iterate quickly, as opposed to going head down for 5 to 8 years and coming up and the world's different.
Yeah. It has a very short front nose. That's like what stands out. And a lot of people even sort of thought this may be like what Tesla would do with the Cybertruck, is like this very cab forward, but they didn't. But this has some really nice advantages, being so close to the front, visibility, maneuverability, and stuff like that. You want to talk about that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, the whole company started with the question, what is the minimum frontal crash zone required to pass all federal motor vehicle crash safety requirements? So we did a bunch of virtual validation, we did a bunch of physics-based modeling, and we came up with the minimum requirement for that. If you have no frunk and no engine bay and nothing that's really structural, that's packaged in the front of the vehicle, you can optimize it just for crash cans and crash zones. And we did that, and then we built the vehicle backwards from there. What we ended up was a vehicle that's very cab forward, and that actually has a engineering definition from the FMVSS, and that means that the center of the steering wheel is in the front quartile of the vehicle. And it's an important distinction because it's not cab over, it's cab forward. And cab over means you're on top of the front axle. Cab forward means you're in the front quartile of the vehicle.
Okay. So you are confident we're going to see this pass all of the crash tests?
We've been in it heads down on the virtual validation of it for the last 3 years.
Because I mean, it's something new for consumers as well to see like such cab forward.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's new in the design element, and we did that intentionally because this is what we feel the future can be. But it's not so different from other vehicles that have existed before. I mean, we've seen the smart car. We've seen the Scion IQ or the Toyota IQ.
Right.
And we've even seen recently Zoox come out and show their crash test results with an even smaller amount of crash zone in the front of their vehicle.
That's very cool. Now, somebody asked me, because they knew we were going to be talking to you guys this weekend, but they were like, with the front tire is so exposed, how does that play in? Are there any like safety issues with that, or like how that's addressed?
So we're a class 2 truck or a multi-purpose vehicle, and which have the same category of safety requirements. And because of that, there's nothing in the federal motor vehicle safety requirements that prevent you from having wheels that are largely exposed, as long as you have 15 degrees over the front center of the tire covered and 30 degrees behind. Those are the requirements. There are state laws that have bumper requirements, but because we're of the class of vehicle we're at, they don't apply to us. So we're able to meet all requirements for states and the federal government. On top of that, you can there's certain ways that you can actually consider like low-speed bumper zones. I would much rather myself bump slowly into a rubber tire than bump into my aluminum or metal cladding of my vehicle.
Well, I'm just sitting here thinking about, we stopped to get coffee on the way, and I'm like, with the low front end of the Mach-E, I'm worried about the curb. I'm like, I would never have to worry about that.
If anything, there's a fun phenomenon that occurs where you pull up into a parking zone and you get out of the car and you're 4 feet away from the curb. Like, oh man, I forgot there's this no hood on this vehicle, so I can pull way up.
Yeah, we tested a Fiat 500e, and it was funny because I was like, I could literally put 2 of them in one parking space. Yeah. This isn't quite that small, but it is small. Let's move around to the side if Liv's okay. Oh, we got a doggy on this side. So this is sort of like the thing that's gotten so much attention is like how short it is, but still functional.
Yeah, the overall length of the vehicle is 152 inches. In fact, it is smaller in length than this generation's 2-door Mini Cooper.
That's crazy.
And aside from the Fiat 500, any other vehicles that sold today, if this were available today, it would be the smallest vehicle on the road.
It looks fantastic from the side. And I just love sort of like the quirky design elements that you have. Like I know you're going for, aero with the door handles, but you haven't made them like impossible. Like people can figure these out. Because that's like, even in our Mach-E, it's like they're very aero, but nobody can figure out how to use them for the first time. Yeah. And the funny thing is we did take a tiny little bit of aerodynamic hit on the doors, but because of the high pressure zone coming off the rearview mirror,
It's actually greatly reduced. It's not a significant hit, but we left them this direction with the scoop in the front because that's how you ergonomically try to open a door.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's just very natural. Liv will probably have some input on some of these things because she's studied industrial design, so she's always looking at that. And so we'll just say some door handles really irritate her. You want to talk about any of the design aspects that our viewers should know? Because I know there's a lot of functionality built into this.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just list a few of the specifications. So this is like, I drive a Toyota Tacoma. I love my Tacoma, but I just can't park it in a city. This has the same interior headspace and legroom as my crew cab Toyota Tacoma. Slightly larger bed, in fact, so a full 5-foot bed. It has a mid-gate that partitions between the bed of the vehicle and the cab of the vehicle that can fold completely flat. And if the seats are scooted mostly the way forward, it'll be a full 8 feet. So you can put a 4x8 sheet of plywood in the vehicle with a tailgate up in this footprint of vehicle. On top of that, and we'll show you it, I'm sure, later, but we have lockable storage in the form of what we call the monster tunnel because it hides under the bed.
Yeah,
like
I've seen pictures of that. I'm excited to actually take a look at that. That's going to be really cool.
Yeah, and on top of that, we have, truck features in the bed. I think a lot of people have asked for. In fact, each of these little pill-shaped little areas in the bed, you'll see that one's exposed. We'll have different kind of options for configuration. So this is 240 and two 120 outlets. We'll have a compressor for doing air for your tires. We'll even have an option for doing HVAC in the rear of the vehicle if it's enclosed.
That's really cool. And your mount points here that are completely adjustable, but also in the floor as well.
And we kind of took that from the van life community that they love these L tracks because they're completely configurable to how you tie things down. So you can tie different types of tie down devices. Some of them can support like thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
And you can really have whatever you want. You can tie it down from any location in the vehicle.
Really cool. Now, of course, the big question for a lot of people are, typical basic specs that everybody's looking at for every EV, basic price, and when is it going to be available?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first one is range. So the long range version of a vehicle is 350 miles of range. It's a 106 kilowatt hour battery pack in this tiny little footprint. So bigger battery pack than any of the Tesla Model X or S's in this tiny little footprint. We have 500 horsepower with the dual motor version, so it'll go 0 to 60 in 4 seconds flat.
Nice.
And it rips, and it's quite fun. The starting price for the single motor base battery pack of the vehicle is $41,520 because that 152 has to make its way in there everywhere we kind of go. Hence the length of the vehicle. The deposit price is $150.
Yeah.
It's $1 for every inch of the vehicle.
I saw some people asking about that, like why 152? So I was like, I love that.
Bidirectional charging. So we'll have up to 11 kilowatts coming out of the battery and add whatever you want. We use NACS standard.
I think charging speed is like 10 to 80 in like 30 minutes. Is that what?
Yeah, so we can do up to 250 kilowatts.
Nice.
And usually, I mean, we could probably go faster than what you just described, but there's always ramp time and coolants, and so it always kind of plays out to 20-ish minutes.
Oh, 20,
in those kind of scenarios.
That's excellent. Well, I'm excited. Should we check out some of the interior? Or?
Sure. So we can start with the rear seats. So if you feel free and jump in all you want.
You want me to hop in, Liv, or do you want to hop in?
Yeah, you hop in.
Okay.
Oh, wow, the texture.
Yeah, I like the textures back here.
Yeah.
So a big thing you'll notice is you can scoot your front feet all the way underneath the front seats.
Yeah.
That's
so it is, not, super spacious back here, but I feel very comfortable, and that makes a huge difference. That I'm not like just crammed up back here. So that's really nice. I love the textures, and decent amount of headroom. I love the glass roof as always.
I actually do want to try get in.
Okay.
So I was resisting because looking at the line of the seat, my prosthesis would not get in. But the fact that you have that height on the bottom, I could actually probably stick my foot in because a lot of seats you can't actually fit your whole foot underneath. And
these door openings are open 20 millimeters, and this door card is going to shrink down about 40 millimeters.
Cool.
So we'll give you significantly better ingress in the future. And it's a big piece of feedback we got from people that.
I think you're going to have trouble swinging.
Oop.
But you know what?
Let's not break the prototype.
I know.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
And we actually reviewed a Tacoma. She did. I won't say we did because we do electric, but she does gas cars.
I was trying a little gas and I could not get my foot in here. So I don't know if you can come a little closer, but that's actually really awesome. That's a big problem I have. I have a ton of room. As you can see, my prosthesis doesn't bend or straighten, the foot. So I have a ton of room. That's really awesome.
So more room than the Tacoma.
Way more room than a Tacoma. You heard it here first. And yeah, I agree with you. These textures are awesome, and the crisscross being echoed in the seat back here, that's really nice. This is really strange how spacious this is.
Yeah.
It's like a magical other world.
And it's only going to get bigger. So we're making a lot of improvements and refinements. Like this exact foot sweep issue, I think we'll solve in the iteration of the vehicle. You see that's going to go into production.
Awesome.
So the door opening will open, the seat thickness will reduce dramatically. And the actual seats will slide ever so slightly backwards. So you'll get a lot more perceived room in the vehicle.
And they'll be adjustable, slide backwards.
The rear seats won't adjust, but the front seats do adjust.
That's
Of
awesome.
course, yeah.
Cool. Wow, that's really, really, I did not expect that I'd be able to get in there.
And that's actually like, if you don't have a passenger, like that's a ton of storage. Like I could put my backpack completely in that.
Absolutely.
Not only that though,
Oh,
Whoa,
yeah.
there it is.
you got all that storage as well.
Wow.
That goes all the way up on the other side for you.
Oh, wow. We can actually see that really well. Are you going to say hey?
Yeah, that's super cool.
It won't fit a Zuko.
A what?
A Zuko.
The
so-
donkey. Yeah.
So again, little refinements that we're doing over time as we go into production.
That is
This,
so cool.
This lip will completely go away, so it'll be a straight shot in. So be able to fit 3
awesome.
carry-on luggages
Nice.
in that space.
That is awesome. And is this weight bearing?
It will be.
It will be
It is
weight
not
bearing?
today. Although at Electrify Expo, we had a few people jump on it. So
Oh, no.
it didn't break, but it hasn't been spec'd to
Were you
actually carry
expecting
load.
them to jump
We
on
were
it?
absolutely not expecting
Oh,
that. And we were
wow.
freaked out a little bit.
Yeah.
I bet. Okay, well done. Well done, MNT.
Yeah, like our
Oh, MT1.
Mini
MT1.
Truck 1, yep.
Mini Truck 1. That
yeah,
was
our luggage would fit in there that we brought this weekend would be perfect under
Which
there.
would also make me more comfortable, actually, because it just makes me nervous having that much stuff in the trunk.
Yeah.
And this is like far
Yeah.
more concealed. Like, how is someone going to get
I mean, we
it?
don't have a frunk,
Oh,
so
yeah, of
we had
course
to have
not.
lockable storage somewhere. And so this is our lockable storage.
Okay, is this bigger than a typical frunk?
7.5 cubic feet. So
Oh yeah, that's bigger than I think the Mach-E is like 4.0 cubic feet.
Oh,
I don't know
wow.
the-
So it's almost double. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean we put like our one carry-on, and that's
Our idea is 3 carry-on luggage on. That's
Yeah.
or snowboard, skis, whatever you want to throw in there. Obviously, you and I probably could fit our snowboard and skis in there.
yeah,
6'8" person probably.
yeah, exactly.
You and he could probably fit in there.
I don't know if I could fit it.
Yeah,
Not really willing to try.
Yeah, that's where claustrophobic. Yeah, that would fit. Although I did, we saw the lightning out front. I was able to fit in the front of that, but that's another story.
Yeah, you know that people are going to do that when they first get their Telos.
We'll have to have a way to pull yourself out of it. Like that's a
Oh,
requirement. If anybody can actually go in, and you have to actually have a way to release it from the inside.
Oh, good. Okay.
Very cool.
Let's go to the front. I'll close this guy's up.
I won't step on it.
And Zuko is just so
He's just
chill.
right there.
Oh,
He's like, that's
Rude.
a little close. I'm moving.
rude, sorry.
So similar to story for you, there's an ingress and egress type story to tell
Am I
here.
hopping in?
Yeah, I'll let you hop in.
So I'd love to see, because we
Thank
haven't had
you.
probably somebody with a prosthetic come. Because there's a foot drag situation as well
Yeah.
for the front.
Oh, that's a great, nice amount of space. That's really nice. There is obviously the wheel well there, but the compromise being that you get so much room.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. Yeah, that is awesome. As a weird addition, just in my specific case, I could see like some sort of rubberized coating.
I think we will put a rub, because even people without a prosthetic
Yeah.
tend to rub their feet across as they drag it.
Absolutely, yeah, like
across.
sort of a continuation of that. That's
Yeah.
so cool. Wow, this is really comfortable. And the glove box, is that gonna be
It's functional.
functional? Just a press? Love that. Thank you. You don't have to use the screen to open it. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then to get out, not too bad.
Yeah.
That's very comfortable. Do you want to try?
Yeah, because I mean, that's the whole thing. Is like with some other cars, I've commented on the fact because the hood dives down, it makes you feel like you're really far forward. This doesn't feel much different than like a Model Y.
Visually, you see this little halo that comes across the top of the hood.
Yeah.
That makes you kind of feel that there's a hood.
Yeah, that helps tremendously. Like it's very subtle, but it makes me feel like it's just like a Model Y or something like that.
And this particular vehicle you're sitting in, the seats are, I think, a centimeter taller than they'll be in production. So that's just like we were experimenting with a couple of different pedestal heights, because if you notice, like this whole seat sits on a pedestal, so all the adjustability in the seat happens within the seat itself because this pedestal is locked in place. So we were kind of experimenting with it. I think we landed on a really good spot on the first vehicle. So you're seeing a tiny bit taller than you will in the actual production vehicle.
And then does that have tilting function
It
as
does.
well?
Yep.
Awesome. Love that. That is super cool.
Very nice.
As both industrial design wise and I have ergonomic challenges, so I can only use limited use of my fingers. So I love that that's something very easy that you can use. It's not a complex or dexterous maneuver to adjust your seat. So that is awesome. Just want to stay in there.
Do you guys want to go for a drive?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
All right. Well, there'll be no AC, so we'll make it quick.
No problem.
We'll be fine.
All right, guys ready?
So ready. So 500 horsepower, more than 500 horsepower.
This one's got right about 500, yeah. But we got really crappy tires on it, and you'll experience that here in a sec.
I cannot believe how comfortable I am in the back seat. The fact that I can't say that about a Tacoma.
All right.
Nice one. Ready? Yep.
We're launching.
A little bit. Oh my God. Yeah, a bit of tire spin.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah,
oh,
that's the tires.
That is awesome. That was awesome. Wow. Okay, if there's any question if there's enough power in this, yes, there is enough.
We've got some race tires that really kind of grip up and pull pretty fast. Someone really messed with this one at the expo, so just leave it there.
Yeah.
This truck literally came from being abused by a couple thousand people. How do you feel, Patrick?
No, the visibility is just awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And you were saying, I think at Electronic Expo, you're going to pull this up or out a little bit?
Out and stand it up a little bit so that you can have a lot better upward vision angle. The seats will also sit a centimeter lower, so that combination will really give you the ergonomic situation you expect in the vehicle.
Yeah, I think just that slight change would all of a sudden change that feeling of being a little bit close up there. But yeah, for being cab forward, that was like my big worry of like riding around in this, like how would I feel okay? But it doesn't feel bad at all. Ride is really good.
I have to be honest, this is my favorite kind of vehicle. I had a 98 RAV4, which was just a little box.
Yep.
So I love this body style. I feel like we can see everything. There's like not a single blind spot. Oh, so
Yeah, excellent visibility.
the view behind too. Wow.
And just the size I think is amazing that we have a full truck bed, and it's just like it feels like zipping around in a little Toyota or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is so trippy. I have a feeling we might be making a reservation. Oh, wow. So these are rough roads.
Oh, yeah.
These are pretty rough roads, and that feels excellent. That's pretty good suspension.
Yeah, the suspension dynamics we spend a lot of time and energy on those.
Awesome.
So I think this is pretty close to what production will be for suspension, drive, and ride feeling.
Yeah, I'm shocked in multiple ways. I'm more comfortable than I've been in many vehicles recently. Whoa!
And then smooth as butter over the railroad tracks.
That was awesome. Oh my gosh, I'm floored. The electric duo reserving. Sold. Sorry, you cannot answer. Dog barricade. Oh, that's amazing. How many people does it take?
It's like I was comfortable.
That is so cute. Zuko, right?
That's right.
Where does Zuko like him in here?
In the truck?
Yeah.
Oh,
So he is definitely not. It's way too hairy to be in the cab of this truck.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I put it in the back.
I'm not leaving.
I'm gonna just open the door so we can get some air. But
Yeah.
so let's talk about the software real quick.
Yeah.
I love this individualized displays here. That's a pretty cool design decision.
Yeah.
But overall, like this is all internal software.
I mean, so I wouldn't call it all internal software because it's important to know that like, we don't want to innovate where the innovation in our team doesn't really make the difference. So we use an off-the-shelf infotainment ECU that runs standard chipsets you'd be used to seeing. We use an architecture that's open source. There's an open source community around it, but used in automotive cars, used in vehicles today. Kind of
Very cool.
the best in the industry. And we run effectively containers that have application layers on top of that level. So all of the hardware abstractions handled for us with the open source tool chain. It can run as real time as necessary for IVI components. And so infotainment systems are really, I think you can get into trouble trying to do your own infotainment from scratch.
You know, it's sort of interesting. I'm like, I get it's like a completely different part of the automotive ecosystem, but it's like nobody's like, why aren't you going? Are you going to have Telo tires? It's like, no, of course you're going to outsource that, or not outsource, but somebody else does that really good, and they have decades of experience. And it's the same thing. It's like you have like a whole community building this, and you can put your interface on it and adapt it. So that makes a lot of sense.
And, it's got like things you'd expect it to have.
Yeah, navigation, music, AC. I mean, that's
360 camera.
It will. This vehicle, these prototypes don't.
Yeah.
And we'll also have like some actual real buttons kind of under here.
Oh, even better.
For additional kind of haptics. And touch.
Yeah, for some of your common like fan on off.
That's right.
Yeah.
People love real buttons till this day.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a good balance. I think that's what it seems like everybody's sort of agreeing on for the most part. There are still some companies that are like touchscreen only, but I think the proper balance is always really nice to have. I mean, we're going to have these buttons on the steering wheel.
Yep.
We're going to have glad that you have a blinker.
We do have that.
AC controls will be on the screen though.
We'll have some level of control with the actual haptic, but most like the steering, the vents and stuff like that will all be on the screen.
Okay, gotcha.
And for driver's assistance functionality, like what are you shooting for there?
So we will, have an off-the-shelf box that does a couple of different L1 components. So lane keeping assistance, automatic cruise control, parking assist. But we're not going to shoot for the moon. I mean, my whole career I've spent doing active and passive safety, and all ADAS feature sets I've worked on in some capacity. And what I found was that sensor, like the chips that go into sensors are changing every 2 years. Yeah. So people are like, oh, we're gonna future-proof our vehicle by putting sensors that can do autonomy. And I'm like, no, you're not, because in 2 years from now, the actual chips that work with that autonomy stack are going to be different. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense to do that. Instead, I'm going to put a box in my CAD and say, that's where that sensor will go. Yeah. Once we lock in the actual sensor suite that will work for that particular application.
That's a great way of looking at it, I think. And I noticed just here, I know this is just prototype, but you have some drive modes that you're looking at doing?
Yeah, these were mostly for fun. These actually do work. You can put the vehicle in drift mode and take traction control off, and then you can spin the vehicle around in a circle.
Yeah.
So you can change brake regen to one pedal driving versus how I have it right now, is which you use the brake itself. We have a couple diagnostic screens too you would have access to if you
that's awesome
to get in there.
Yeah, and again, that's our viewers know that's like one of the advantages of EV. It's very easy to control things, traction control and all of that when you're dealing with an electric vehicle with the software layer on top.
Oh, question. Will you have the ability to turn one pedal off?
As in just do one pedal driving? Is that what you're asking?
Completely off.
One pedal, two pedal.
Yeah, so you can, so this is set right now to it feels very much like driving almost like a manual transmission gas car. So it's like you get some level of regen that feels like engine braking. That's how I like to drive.
Same.
But other people in our team like completely one pedal. They don't like to touch the brake at all.
Patrick, yeah. But I am a two pedaler.
Very interesting. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that's something that is sort of, it's when you have that much adaptability, I think it's really nice to be able to provide the flexibility for somebody like Liv that wants more of that two pedal feel versus somebody like me. And to me, it's like there's no excuse not to offer those.
Yeah, and it's just a super simple software tweak. I mean, you can literally, it's a single scalar value you can change.
Yeah, might as well, right?
But not everyone gives people that access,
which is just laziness.
Yeah, or that sort of back to like Steve Jobs is like, I want to decide for you. This is how you're going to like it.
There is things that we do that as, I mean, to be clear, like there's elements of our vehicle that we decide, quote unquote, decide for you.
Right.
You know, but there's like that some other vehicles give you options. Like we'll have very little height adjustment in the seats of the vehicle. And the reason that we do that is because we want you to sit in a way that can make sure that you always have rear passengers that are able to feel comfortable in the vehicle, and you can put things with the midgate down. You're not going to crush anything. We have very limited kind of capabilities there, but we still have forward and back and reclining. So it's a decision we made to make sure that we could actually package people. So we had to make the vehicle as comfortable as possible with a more upright driving position.
I love that.
Yeah.
Going upright.
Yeah, you know, I mean, in our Mach-E, I want to be down as low as I can, slightly reclined, but still pretty upright. But like in this, in a truck, then you get like a different feel.
But everything has an effect. Like the angle of the pedal
Mm-hmm.
determines how you want to sit in the car. The angle of the steering wheel, this one actually is physically limited because our designer came in and installed the screen 2 inches too low. But if the steering wheel comes up higher and flatter, you want to sit up higher to kind of meet that, because as you turn. That's why bus drivers have like almost like completely flat steering wheels.
Yeah. We drove a I think Class 6 electric truck a couple of weeks ago, and it was like a weird feeling, but it felt completely natural in a vehicle that big.
Yeah. So every single one of those components, the angle of the steering wheel, the way your hands are touched the steering wheel, the way your heels sit when it's resting on the pedal. There's a specific specification for the angle of your ankle as you sit and rest your foot on the pedal. Like what does that mean for how you're actually going to sit in the car? All that has a downstream effect.
Okay, we talked a lot about the vehicle, but let's talk about your background just a little bit. Should we hop back out, Liv? Okay, I was saying like we've talked a lot of it about the truck, but tell us a little bit about your background and background at Telo, because I mean there's not a lot, but there's a few like EV startup companies, but I think what you guys are doing here is like really cool and unique. First of all, unique vehicle, but like the way you guys are approaching it, I think is pretty cool.
Well, you know, I was your standard kid that had car posters all over their wall. I used to build, like my father wasn't very mechanically inclined, but he loved motorcycles. So he'd always like, this is back in the 90s when he would go print out like the 100 pages worth of like forums and how to fix your motorcycle and hand it to a 5-year-old me and say, go figure this out. So I was rebuilding like motorcycle engines and stuff when I was a kid. Built my first vehicle from scratch when I was 14. But I went to school, mechanical engineer, graduated, I built some of the first radar and LiDAR chipsets that went into autonomous driving and ADAS features.
That's so cool.
That transitioned me into doing software and systems for safety, and then kind of encompassing all of active and passive safety together and the validation of those platforms. So I'm very familiar with like the validation process to go from, you know, production, like engineering validation vehicles all the way through to production vehicles. That's kind of been my specialty. My co-founder, Forrest, who we actually pole vaulted at the same high school in Washington.
Oh, wow.
So he was on the Tesla's original battery team, built the battery pack for the first Roadsters, actually in that building right next to us. And he's been in EVs forever. He actually was the founder of PlugShare. So if you guys use PlugShare, he's CEO of PlugShare. Built and launched Mission Motors, which was one of the first electric motorcycle startups in the Bay Area. And then him and I got together, kind of building our own micromobility startups about in 2018 together, sharing some office space. And at some point, we're just like, what are we doing? Let's combine forces. You know batteries, you know safety and validation. Let's go make something that really makes a difference in the world.
That's really cool. And we're here in your facility in Silicon Valley. That's sort of like, it's not some big glamorous glitzy building and, you know, like everybody has like this fancy design studio. To me, it is like I used to work in Silicon Valley many years ago. This looks like a real Silicon Valley studio. You got the truck. You guys are, you know, we have desks if we can show those.
Yeah.
If Liv doesn't mind spinning around. But it's like they're working here next to the truck. It's like real, you know, nitty gritty Silicon Valley work like it used to be, maybe still is in some of those buildings.
No, I think that our ethos has been to build the most efficient car ever, and that goes from packaging efficiency, it goes from electrical efficiency, also goes from efficiency of our team. You know, to get to this stage, we had 11 people. We spent less than $6 million over 18 months to get 2 functional vehicles. And
that's actually an insanely low amount to get 2 prototype production vehicles, and also the number of people. Like that's a very low number of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to a lot of things. One, the skill of our team. 2, the state that we're in the world. Yes, you hear all of the headwinds on everything in the automotive world and the EV world, But the reality is now more than ever, it's easier to start a company like this.
Mm-hmm.
One, we have available commoditized components where we don't have to innovate, where it doesn't matter. We build the battery packs ourselves, we build the design and mechanical engineering of the vehicle and packaging of the vehicle and the crash safety, but almost all of the electrical components are purchased off the shelf.
Yeah. Taking advantage of where you can
exactly
to bring in the stuff. So, yeah.
And validation, like the vehicle program is as expensive as it is because of a couple of things. Like one, you pay your people to design the vehicle, but you also pay your people to validate the vehicle. And when you're validating a vehicle, usually like the old style of validation of a vehicle is to meticulously step through every single individual component and electrically test it, physically test it, durability test it in the real world. You can do that all in a virtual world at this point. And that just accelerated the timelines and it's reduced it's 1/100th the cost of validation if you do it entirely virtually.
And that's sort of, again, it's sort of like that Silicon Valley mentality of like, we have software to do this stuff versus
throw software at the problem.
That's
but
really
always valid, like, you know, even when you throw software at the problem, you have to correlate it to real world.
Right.
But you can do a lot in software.
Which is sort of like, you know, that's why we're standing in front of this. It's like you guys looked at it software wise, and you go and you sit in it and like, oh, that needs to come out and end. You know.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's a really good combo. It's sort of like we were just talking about with the buttons and the screen. It's like you got to have the right balance. You can't just go software for everything. A couple of buttons and you're good. So we're really excited to see this in person. I really love how much functionality you build in a platform that's this small. And I think I asked, but I don't know if I remember, but like, when is production looking like to begin?
So we're still slated as of today to deliver the first vehicles in 2026.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, we're really excited to see that. Hopefully we'll come back up when you guys actually launch. We'd love to see more as the progress is taking place. But thank you for giving us a bit of a tour. Anything else that we missed today?
I mean, there's certain things that we, like, obviously we hid from you guys, but there are things that, you know, just to be cognizant of work we do. Like, we have a full battery NPI line and validation lab, and a lot of the special sauce that goes into this vehicle happens because of the battery technology.
Ooh, that's intriguing. We'll learn more later. All right. Well, thanks again. Absolutely. And congratulations on a successful Electrify Expo and having these vehicles out and ready and burning rubber.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Hello. Now it's a great treat to be here with Forrest, another one of the co-founders of Telo Trucks, and you and Jason pole vaulted together in college. Right?
We pole vaulted at the same high school.
At the same high school.
But,
that's awesome.
Like more than a decade apart.
Oh, wow. Okay. So those were your humble beginnings. And then here you are. Can you tell us what you do here with Telo Trucks?
I wear a lot of hats. Janitorial, logistics. So technology and marketing are both of the things that I cover here. So battery pack, technology around the battery, startup experience, just building a startup and staying lean, and then a lot of the marketing as well. So there's just the strategy around how we want to engage with our audience.
And you guys, you're really engaging, it seems like, hands-on, like in the thick of it with people, getting people's feedback, getting their input on these. I mean, we saw you at Electrify Expo and you were just flooded with people. So I'd love to hear, how has the reception been?
It's been great. We have a lot of interest on our Discord channel.
We're gonna join that.
Yeah, people talk. Give us feedback when we go to events. People show up that are pre-order holders, and we listen to them. Yeah, so we get a lot of advice from them, and we take it to heart. So the founders are out there at the events, listening to our customers.
That's amazing. Yeah, we saw Jason there just being like bombarded by people with interest and input. And that's really great to see. So I encourage you guys, if you want to see something, leave your input down below. We'll try elevate your voices, because that's really, really cool that you're making this sort of a collaborative thing. Like, you really are delivering something that before I saw this, I didn't understand how this is possible. Now that I've seen it, I still don't understand how it's possible. So it's like you're taking a lot of wishes from people, like the wishes for something that seats 4 people, potentially 5 more, that has a full truck bed, that has 500 horsepower, like a ton of power, that has over 300 miles of range,
Yeah.
right? Like that's a whole lot of wishes. What else?
Or you can carry a 4x8
Yes.
plywood.
You can carry a 4x8 plywood that has a tunnel with lockable storage as well. Like that's a lot of wishes that you're packaging into something. And like, I was really excited to see it, to try understand how it's possible. And I still don't quite get it. So I'm pretty sure it's magic. Pretty sure it's magic.
You know, we have struggled with trying to represent to people what the scale is, or have people understand the scale, because when you say it's a truck in the shape of in the size of a two-door Mini Cooper, most people say that's not possible.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
We have had lots of investors who have seen it and said, no, that's not smaller. And we have to literally put a tape measure on the floor and then go out into the parking lot and show them because it seems bigger. So we've packaged a lot of capability in a really small footprint.
No kidding. I mean, you kind of have to have a Mini Cooper next to it, I guess. Like, have you done that?
Yes, we've done that.
We'll have to look
it
at
is the
those
same.
photos.
Like, in fact, it's 1 inch shorter than the current year two-door Mini.
154 inches.
152.
Right? 152?
Yeah. So that's why we made our pre-order price $152, $1 for every inch.
Right.
When we launched the company, we launched with a full-sized buck so that people could kind of get a sense of the size. So that has always been a little bit of the challenge. We go to events, you know, so that people can see it. That's probably our biggest thing, is we get people contacting us before events saying, I want to come and see it. I want to make sure you're there because I just don't understand how that's possible.
Yeah, it's really like, I hope we're conveying it. I mean, you know our height. I'm 5'5". You are much taller.
I'm 6'2", yeah.
6'2", but you can see, and that is something I want to comment on, is that I'm delighted at the size of this, because if we can bring Patrick over here, this is a 5'5" person size vehicle. And I love trucks. I love the functionality of trucks. I'm an amputee. Trucks can be hard to get into. They can be hard to access the bed, but this, I'm like bed height. Like if I'm lifting things over here, this is so easy. And I feel like I could easily climb into this, and we'll invite Patrick over here.
Absolutely. Like I am 6'2" and I can't get into a lot of trucks nowadays.
Exactly.
And that seems just ridiculous to me. Like, why have something like that? Just takes away the truckiness of a truck to me. If you can't actually grab stuff from the bed.
Like this is crazy that I, at 5'5", I could grab the charging cable, and I'm trying not to boop my mic there, but like I can grab things with ease, and that's just like a really nice feeling, because cars are not, trucks are often not designed for people of my stature, but there's a lot of us. You other 5'5" people, comment down below, because I want to see you guys. Now I have another question. What is the clearance?
10 inches.
10
inches of ground clearance.
Inches.
Yeah. It looks
That's
lower than
crazy.
that. And that's partly because of how our eyes are used to a lot of trucks. You know, they fold in the rocker arm sooner. So which changes the look of it, makes it look higher. But the differential of most trucks hangs down lower than that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is amazing. Because that's something I really miss. Obviously, our Mach-E is like 5.2 inches. Is that it? It's pretty bad. The Equinox, equally poor clearance. I love the functionality, and I love something that you don't have to worry about, right? That you can like bounce over things.
We wanted to be able to drive into the snow where you're in ruts, you know, and you can have like good clearance.
This is a truck.
Yeah.
And
you're not dragging
so
a differential.
Awesome. Right? That's amazing. This is a truck with no compromise. I still don't know how they did it. I'm pretty sure it's magic. Forrest, thank you so much. And so what's this red color called?
Sunburnt orange.
Sunburnt orange.
But it really turned out a little more Ferrari red than we had expected.
It really did.
Yeah,
but I would have to
people have loved it. So we might have to make another color that's this red, and then we'll still try to get the orange right.
Are you taking votes on the name for the red color?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Vote on the name. I do think that Forest Green with a double R, because his name is Forest,
Maybe
that would be good.
Dark emerald forest green. Yeah.
Dark emerald forest. There you go.
Emerald forest.
Emerald forest green. Oh yeah, there you go. Well, thank you so much. I really
thanks for
appreciate
coming.
it, and
I'm glad you
I'm
like it.
not leaving. I'm just taking this home.
We've gotten that a lot.
Nice.
Okay, so I just wanted to sit in the driver's seat before we took off, and I just got to say, driving position just feels excellent. Visibility is phenomenal, like just all directions. Like I can see any and everything, including with the course the glass sunroof. But yeah, just a very comfortable seating arrangement. The drink holders, we have this one that can slide out. We also have one down here, which would fit Liv's giant mug.
Nice.
But for a compact mini truck, it feels really roomy. So I'm really pleased with this. Everything is pretty well laid out here. Yeah, I think it's really great. I want to have Liv sit here and see what she thinks.
I will, but also dark mode, because the truck that we rode in was in white mode, the light mode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see dark mode. That looks really, really good. I would definitely do dark mode. Yeah.
I do want to comment on like the design aesthetics, and I really like Liv pointed out already, like the textures in the cloth material, but like everything else has like a little bit of a rounded design, circular design. So like the dash is curved, but then like the speakers echo that curvature. But then the same thing with like the door handles, the door opening mechanisms, the window controls, they all have that basically oval, and it's even matched on the outside by like the rear view mirrors. And I can even see, can you catch that, Liv? Like even like the rear brake lights has that same curve, and it just sort of ties everything together really well. I really like that. And sort of actually even some of the buttons here on the screen and the driver's display, that same type curve feel really is great. Even in the mirror and the rear light here. Okay, I'm going to find.
Backs.
And the seat, I love when you tie things together. It's just an extra design element that if you start connecting everything, it just feels like it's tied together really well and feels very cohesive. Even right here with the Telo logo in the dashboard, excellent way to like just pull everything so that it looks very cohesive and put together by one person instead of like a team spread across the country.
Or in one intimate facility right here.
Yeah.
That's super cool. My turn in the front seat, in the hot seat. I'm so comfortable. I'm really, really comfortable, and this would be fine for me to drive. As you can see, there's a ton of room here, so my knee can stick out. I'm an amputee, a right leg amputee. I drive with my left leg crossed over, so this is awesome for me. If you need a little bit more leg room in your cabin, if you're someone who likes this kind of space, this is amazing. I love that there's that cup holder down there for my big, huge Stanley style mug. Oftentimes it's like right here and getting in my way. There is the pop-out cup holder. Ooh, there we go. Which I really like.
It's a double.
Yeah, it's a double. I like that you could do one if you want. You could have two out there. Love having multiple drink options. I know not everyone is like that. Do let us know if you love having access to multiple beverages, but I do. So I would have my water there, my coffee there, whatever it is. It's just so comfortable. Tons of visibility, so comfortable for my legs. Now, I would adjust this a little more. They have not built in the tilting function just yet, since this is just, a demo model. But with the seat being able to tilt, I know it's going to be just fine for me to drive. And this feels like my old RAV4 in that it's just a big open space. There's a ton of room. There's just tons of room back there in the rear. I can only imagine that this must feel amazing to maneuver, obviously riding along, and it was really enjoyable, really smooth and comfortable. I did not think I would be as into this as I am. I probably should have anticipated it. I'm sorry, Patrick, we're definitely reserving one. I'm going to be completely honest. That was so awesome and exciting. We had maybe an hour and a half booked, and we ended up spending a couple hours there, which is why we're filming now elsewhere, because we really stayed a long time. We talked with them so much because it's just so exciting.
Yeah, and for me, like I said, years ago, I worked in Silicon Valley and just got that vibe from the whole company, which is really exciting to see and makes me enthusiastic about what they're trying to do. They're really that startup mode, but not, there's always been this thing in Silicon Valley where there's their startups where the people buy the big fancy buildings and have the flashy cars and all of that, and not much substance. This feels like it has the substance and the Silicon Valley garage type feel that we always talk about. So I'm really excited to see what they come out with. We know that they're going to have challenges getting to production. We know that 41,000 is going to be a rough starting point without the tax credits. Those are all fair questions to ask of them and see how that develops. But the reality is the market is changing quickly, but I think this is a very compelling product to have such a small footprint, but such a capable vehicle. And I think there's going to be a lot of people, like they said, that aren't going to say like, oh, I want an electric truck and I want to tow a 10,000 pound trailer. But like people like us that live in a suburban, urban environment that want to go downtown and still be able to park it.
Yeah, honestly, it's everything I could ever dream of. It is everything that I could ever dream of in a vehicle, all packaged into one. I've always wanted smaller. I love a truck. I love the functionality of four-seater, the full screen, the instrument cluster. It'll have, you know, enough ADAS with lane keep assist and things like that. No real compromises and a tiny, tiny space. Maneuverable, easy to park, all that good stuff. There's just like no compromises, and I'm so excited about it. And of course, we're psyched about a lot of cars coming out. We have a reservation for an R2. We're interested in have a reservation in the Slate. So this is a bit more expensive. It's 10 grand more than the Ford vehicle that's been announced. But this is what they're offering is so much in a tiny little package. Over 300 miles of range, over 250 kilowatts of charging speed. Like there's just no compromises. Please don't go flying camera.
Yeah, the camera's like wobbling in the wind, but yeah, it's going to be interesting, you know. But what and again, sort of like the cool part is like we do have like the Slate truck, the Ford $30,000 vehicle, but we'll see like what that includes, and this as well. So there's going to be some great competition in this like lower end EV truck, not the big giant trucks. So it should be a very interesting segment to watch. It's really cool what they're doing, how they're doing it. And what we want now is like, let's start getting your input and your opinions. Tell us what you think about Telo Trucks. I know a lot of you have been very excited and asked us for this video. Do you want something small like that? I think my big concern when I heard about it again was that like that front feeling very close. It seems like they've got that taken care of, and the feel sitting in the front feels fine. So what do you think? Do you like the design of it? Do you like the looks of it? Let us know about those type of things.
Yeah, and I want to hear from you, especially if they're a shorter stature woman. This truck made me feel very comfortable. We've spent some time in larger vehicles and larger trucks that are hard for me to get in. It's hoisting yourself up. It's hard to access the bed. So it just felt really cool to me that everything was accessible, that you can lean over and access the bed, that it's easy to get in. It's a truck and it's easy to get into. So I also want to hear from you guys, the other shorter people like us, like, is this something that you're looking for? You had a thought?
Yeah, no, it was just mostly like, that was like one of the realizations is like, I knew like, it's nice to be able to access the bed, to be able to reach over for somebody that's shorter like me. But not only could I reach over, I could reach over and literally touch the floor of the bed. So that means like that little thing that's like rolling around in the back, like I could potentially reach over and grab it. And I think that's like a huge, thing that if you have a truck, that's what you want. It's even in the F-150 I owned years ago, it was difficult to do that. And I remember like we'd get the groceries and you try to secure the bags, but one would fall open and then you'd have like this can and you're like, I can't reach it. And you'd have to jump into the bed of the truck just to grab it. So I think that, we talked about a lot of the specs and, the footprint and the size and all of that stuff. But I think what this truck may have that may not be in some of the competitors, although I think, Slate has that little bit of a smile factor because it's going to be pretty cool. But it's going to have that smile factor. And it's so hard to measure what that is. And some people don't value that at all. But it goes back to like we drove the Mini Countryman, the Fiat 500e, these little small vehicles. They just like, they put a smile on my face just because they're fun, they're zippy. They're not like these, 1,000 horsepower beasts, but they are just a lot of fun to drive around because they're so maneuverable and they still have a lot of power for the weight. And I mean, this is going to have quite a bit of power.
Yeah, I mean, literally, we smelt burning rubber. He tore it up. Obviously, we'd love to get the chance to drive it, and hopefully we will. But I think that the smile will come from the awesomeness and the cuteness, but also, like, I think I would just smile because it's everything. It's like, it really is everything I would want. And that makes me smile. That makes me happy. How do you feel about the Telo Truck MT1? Mini Truck 1.
Yep.
Tell us how you feel about it. Tell us all your thoughts down below. What's your favorite colors? I'm going to go build my favorite one and see if it matches what yours is.
Oh, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you want more of this type of content, please let us know. And the best way to let us know is by giving this a thumbs up, hitting that subscribe button, and we'll get more of this stuff out to you. We'll visit more of these like new companies that are around in California. But thank you for sharing this video as well. That helps us out quite a bit. We're trying to really, hit that growth stage, and it's so hard to do. We are now the electric duo. We used to be the Mach-E vlog. For those of you that know us, we are still doing Mach-E content, but as you can see, like, we've always done a lot of this other stuff. Thank you to our Patreon members that have been supporting us, helping fund trips up to the Bay Area. It so much helps, pay some of those bills to have you guys donating monthly to us. So that's very much appreciated at the Unbridled, the Engage, and the Whisper stage, as well as our YouTube members that are also been growing month by month. Very much appreciate you. But everybody that likes, subscribes, and even just watches, appreciate all of you.
Loud, noisy buses.
Loud bus.
Truly, we couldn't do it without you guys. We came for Electrify Expo, but we're staying to cover a whole bunch of things. So we have a lot of coverage from the Bay Area. There are a bunch of amazing companies up here. Pandora Electric, Telo Trucks, Pivotal, a lot of stuff, and we tried to really cram it in. Our patrons and our YouTube members have gotten some behind the scenes stuff, or they will get it, probably gotten it. Either way, we're trying to give little bits of behind the scenes of everything, of all this goodness. So if you want to see that, then do join. And on that note, just remember that whatever you drive, whether it's
big
or mini, enjoy the ride. Bye.